Hello friends, welcome if you're new here or welcome back if we've practiced together before. This is our daily reset stretch routine. It is a very gentle full body stretch. We hit every area. We start sitting down and we end our practice standing up. It's all level friendly. We don't need any props, just our mat and a willingness to let it all go. This one is perfect after a very long day, or if we have any tightness, we really do hit the entire body. So whenever you're ready, we can get started. We begin today in easy seat. Rooting through the mat, sitting up nice and tall, starting to just roll the shoulders back, sending them up towards the ears, back, and then drawing them down. Maybe even feeling little crunchies or little sensations with that. Really just focusing on the shoulders, the scapula, taking nice deep breaths. And then we're gonna let the right ear drop to the right shoulder, just letting gravity hold us here for a moment. And then coming to the left side, moving gently. This whole practice, we move gently, just releasing whatever we need to release. Lifting back up, we're going to take our gaze to the right side, over the shoulder, really feeling this in the neck, the throat, and to the left. Beautiful, back to center. We're going to take the feet together, bound angle pose. Maybe resituating here, taking a few breaths in this pose, maybe holding on to the toes, the ankles, just sending the soles of the feet together. Coming back to our practice, to ourselves, especially after a long day. You made it here. And we're going to take the left hand, placing it over the right foot and reaching the right arm back, coming into a twist. Getting a hip and groin opener as well as an abdominal twist. One more breath. And exhale back to center, taking that right forearm, placing it on the thigh. Hand comes on the knee. We reach the left arm overhead. So we're not going to get as deep of a side body stretch right here. We're also opening up through the groins, lifting up our chest. We can feel this in our back. Our lower back is being strengthened. Supporting ourselves, holding ourselves up in this position. And release, coming into our twist on the other side. Sending our awareness to our lower back. Breathing nice and deep. And coming through center to find our side body stretch. Reaching that right arm overhead. Sending the fingertips that away. Making sure our chest is nice and lifted. This might feel a little awkward, but that's okay. We accept however we feel. And releasing. Walking the hands out in front, taking a little forward fold here, maybe swaying side to side, waking up through the back, whatever your body is needing right now. Maybe we fold over the legs, letting the head drop to the feet. Inhale to lift the chest, taking the legs to the front of the mat, coming into staff pose. Feet are flexed, we're sitting up nice and tall. Pulling up through the spine, up through the crown of the head. Feeling supported by yourself, this community, your mat, maybe the earth if we're outside, if we're lucky enough to be outside. Just holding here for one more breath. And then taking the right leg into the left thigh, squaring our hips, pulling that left hip crease back before folding over that left leg, finding a beautiful hamstring stretch. We're here for a few breaths. No need to rush this. You can keep the back nice and long. Maybe going a little bit deeper on every exhale. This is your time. No forcing anything, no rushing anything. You're exactly where you're meant to be today, in this moment right now. May not be where you want to be. We have to start somewhere. Maybe letting the head drop. Releasing the neck. And gently lifting the chest back up, walking the hands back to switch sides, extending the right leg, taking the left, squaring off the hips. Noticing how this side feels different. I am still nursing my little hamstring injury, so I cannot go nearly as far on this one. And that's okay. If I force it, then I'll make it even worse. Maybe we think about one thing that we're grateful for right now. Something that happened today, this week, something we're looking forward to. Think about that as we fold a little bit deeper. Maybe letting the head hang. If it doesn't reach the leg, that's okay. This feels great. A little roll in the neck. Ready, gently lifting back up, taking both feet to the mat, sending them apart to the edges of the mat, windshield wipering the legs, opening up through the hips a little bit. Going only as far as you want to. Maybe we just kind of do one of these. Ooh, my hip cracked on that one. Maybe we go all the way down, depending on our mobility or accessibility. And when we feel evened out, we're going to come onto our backs, feet flat on the floor, scooting into the middle of the mat. First, keeping the knees up, just holding here for a moment, palms facing up, feeling the lower back in the mat, sending the lower back into the mat even more. Letting yourself be. And then turning the palms onto the mat, preparing for bridge pose. We want the legs hip width apart. We're going to press into the feet and the hands and lift the pelvis up. Sending it up, squeezing the glutes, the quadriceps, releasing the pelvis back down. Inhale, send it back up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold here. And release it back down. We're going to do that one more time. Sending it up. And release. can hug the knees into the chest for a moment. We're going to come into reverse pigeon, taking that right ankle on top of the left knee, hugging the legs into the chest. Feeling beautiful, beautiful outer glute stretch on the right leg. Can play with extending the left leg, noticing how that feels. Nice deep breaths, always coming back to the breath. And exhale to gently release and switch sides. Playing with that same variation if we were straightening the leg on the left side. We're not always going to be even, but we try to practice evenly, if that makes sense. One side's always probably going to be a little bit more open, but we want to make sure that we are practicing both. Can't just play favorites, even though we all kind of do sometimes. Especially, I'm guilty of it, especially. My right hamstring, I use my right way more, and that's the one that I injured. Release, we're going to send both legs up. Feet are flexed. Maybe we take little ankle rolls, roll out the ankles. You can take them the same way or opposite ways. Maybe just pointing and flexing. Maybe we even take the hands behind the head. We're chilling, we're hanging out. And if we would like, if this isn't our practice, we can take the arms out from beneath the head, but rock ourselves up to either plow pose, or we can let the knees hang by the ears, ear pressure pose, and just kind of hang out here. Maybe rock a little bit. Notice how this feels. Maybe we try it and we don't like it, we can always come back out. If we are here, we can use the momentum to gently kind of come up to a seat. And then we're going to take the legs behind us, extend them long, coming onto the belly. And just wrap the forearms in front. My right is on top. And we're going to rest the forehead here for a moment. Lengthening through the neck, sending the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Feeling the spine. Maybe rolling the forehead side to side. If we have any tension there. We can gently lift up the neck, taking the arms, the forearms to the mat beneath us, coming into Sphinx pose. Lifting up through the chest, sending the sternum forward, gaze up. Strong lower back, pressing through the mat with the fingers. They're nice and spread. Holding here, one more breath. Exhale, release the nose to the mat. Hands come underneath the shoulders. We press up through plank, nice and strong, to downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet, walking the hands forward. Waking up the heels, maybe letting one heel drop, and then the other. Sending the hips up to the sky, the heels down. Find that length in the spine, bringing everything out. And on the next inhale, we're gonna lift the heels, roll the back up to high plank, lift the gaze, and then come back to downward facing dog on the toes. Inhale, lift the heels, roll to high plank, gaze forward. And exhale, send it back to downward facing dog. Moving with the breath. Maybe we start to find ourselves going a little bit deeper in our downward facing dog. Maybe our heels reach the mat now, maybe they don't. And whenever you're back in your next downward facing dog, we meet there, gazing at the hands, grounding through that left foot, raising the right, three-legged dog. Bending the knee, taking it in through the chest, nice and slow, controlled. Releasing it between the hands, dropping the right knee, low lunge. We're gonna lift the chest, take the arms behind us, untuck the toes, fingers are spread. Taking a nice deep breath here. We're open to receive all the good things that are gonna come our way. Releasing whatever happened today that we don't need anymore. Sinking a little bit deeper into that hip flexor. Releasing the right fingertips to the mat, left arm comes overhead, side body stretch. Sweeping that left arm in front, half split, sending the hips back. Lifting the chest. Breathing here. Exhale, come back onto the fingertips, coming into tabletop pose. Spreading through the fingers, gonna take a cat-cow here. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, round through the back. Tucking the chin. Maybe finding little wiggles, a little spinal roll, cat-cow. Making this your own. 2 more rounds. Before meeting back in tabletop. Tucking the toes, walking the hands out, finding our downward facing dog. Grounding through the right leg, raising the left, bending the knee, coming into our low lunge. Lifting the chest, hands come behind us, palms face forward, fingers are spread. Feel the energy that lives there. Maybe wiggle the fingertips if you need to feel it a little bit more. Bring the hands together, feel the friction, the particles that are there, the heat. Release them back. Feel the tingles, sinking deeper. Planting the left hand, right comes overhead. And sweeping the right around, coming into our half splits. Gaze is forward. We're here in this present moment, in the feeling body, physical sensations. Taking those fingertips to the mat, sweeping that left foot back, tucking the toes. We're going to stay kind of in this tabletop, but we're going to reach the fingertips towards the edges of the mat. And just kind of side to side, opening up the wrists very gently, slowly. Maybe taking the hips with it, finding little circles. Feeling all of the pressure points in the fingertips to the palm of the hand. Taking the hands back underneath the shoulders. And if this feels okay, turning the backs of the hands onto the mat, maybe we walk them in a little bit closer. Finding a very, very gentle rock here, just enough to feel it. It should not hurt. If it's uncomfortable, we can do the same thing with our hands flat and just move a little bit forwards and backwards. Good. Then we're going to turn our hands, palms down onto the mat, tucking the toes if we didn't have them tucked, and sit back. feeling this foot stretch, the ball of the foot. Inhale, reach the arms above the head. And exhale, heart center. Maybe closing the eyes here, tapping into the heart center, checking in with yourself. How you're doing today, how you're feeling right now. Reaching the arms out in front of you. Trying to do this without using the hands. If you need to, that's okay. We're gonna rock back and try and find a little toe stand. Shoulders are down, feel this in the quadriceps, we're connected to the core. And then reaching the arms by the sides, inhale, straighten the legs, palms come together, finding a slight back bend. And exhale, hands to heart center. Reaching the right arm above the head, we're gonna take the left ankle into the hips, getting a nice quadricep stretch. This little opposition here, right hand reaches up, left knee reaches down. Sending the knee down, the hips forward. And then releasing that right hand, taking the left knee into the chest, sending it up. And then crossing that ankle over the right leg, coming into a half chair pose. Playing with the angle of the knee here. Seeing how that makes a difference in the muscles that are stretched. We hit those different glute muscles. One more breath here. Releasing that left foot, we hang the head, belly comes to the thighs. We're gonna reverse swan dive up, so leading with the head, bending through the back, taking the hands up, 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 they meet, slight back bend, and exhale, heart center. Releasing that left arm up to the sky, and taking the right ankle into the hips. Feeling this long energy line on the left side from the tips of the fingers all the way down to the toes. See if you can feel it. Grounding through that left foot, taking the right knee into the chest in front, hugging it in, half wind release pose, and exhale, taking it across the left knee, finding that glute stretch. Deep breaths. And exhale to release. Hands come above the head one last time. And exhale, they meet at heart center. I hope you enjoyed this class. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Let me know how it went for you down below. I hope we were able to release some tension after a long day. Stretching out the body feels so good. And I'm sure you feel a little bit better right now. Thank you for practicing with me. I will see you again next time on the mat, my friends.